Okay, hello Instagram family. I am going to bring in Tan and we are going to start the conversation. Welcome as you come in. Be joining us shortly. There you are. Okay. We are here. Now we're going to go live on Facebook.
All right. How are you doing, everyone? And we'll just let this populate on Instagram.
And we are live on Facebook.
All right.
Yes, we are ready. We're 1 minute early, but as they come into the room, Ton and I are going to welcome each and everyone to the gifting table broadcast. We are so excited to be together. I am in North Carolina. Where are you, Ton?
I am in Drayton, Ontario. So that
Oh,
is just north of Guelph, maybe about an hour and a half from Toronto.
see, see, people, you don't have to be next door to one another. You don't have to have an audience right there meeting together in California, wherever platform. You can do it right from your home. Am I correct?
Absolutely. And that's the great thing about technology, Linda, is, I was on a call today and we had people from the States, we had people from Turkey, we had people in Hamilton, Ontario. I was up here. We had someone north of Ontario, Timmins, and we're meeting in the metaverse. It was such a cool experience where we could see each other, we could experience each other in this kind of altered reality from all over the world. So technology is just amazing how it's really shrinking the world today and making things like this possible and meeting new friends from around the world, which is fantastic.
And another good thing, we, before COVID, we didn't have this community, this gathering as much as we have it now.
No. Well, I think that's what the pandemic did for us. It really brought kind of to the forefront a need to connect, and so people were kind of starving, sorry, to connect because we couldn't go out. And so Clubhouse and different platforms like that really drove people to, okay, if we can't see each other, at least we can hear each other. And now with Zoom and all of these type of platforms too, we can see and talk with each other. Hopin, where we can do like chamber networking one-on-one and speed dating for business and all of this amazing stuff all online. And we don't have to waste gas.
Well, we are going to get started, and we see that we have people waving at us on Instagram.
Fantastic.
And
I'm
as
going to
they
keep
come
my
in,
head forward because that's my Facebook, and to my right is Instagram. So I'm not ignoring Instagram.
no, no, we love you both. So we're going to get started. And hello, everyone, again. Welcome to the Gifting Table broadcast. As you enter the room, bring whatever device that you use to take notes because it's going to be a hot, juicy one on today. Our special guest, Thanh Campbell, founder, CEO of Hope for the World Production. And he's going to give us, what the meeting is, what he's doing, and so forth. But we are going to really dive into this because we are so excited to have him with us. We are going to take a different approach. Now, this may not be your familiar platform on today, as you're used to the work being out just coming like in a different format, but because we want to dive and give Tom as much time as needed, we're going to get right into his message and start the conversation. This is going to be epic, so get ready, and let's get started.
That's awesome.
Ah, because he's here to empower, impact, and to help others to live their lives out of hope and healing. And this is what he believes in, where he came from to where he is right now, in that journey along the process. So we are excited, and we want you to listen very clearly. Are you ready? Because as he dropped those gems, as he dropped the gems, we want you to take notes down, because in between each segment of his speech, he's going to give us some powerful information. So get ready, and I may not get through his entire bio, but we are going to read as much as we possibly can, and then he's going to tell us the story anyway. As he said, he lives in Hamilton, Ontario, and operates not one business, not two business, but three businesses outside of his speaking career. He has been asked to sit on many boards and committees, including McMaster Children's Hospital, New Health Center, and the Hamilton Media Arts Council, which discuss the issues of diversity portrayed in the media. Did you catch that? Okay, like I said, he's going to explain all of this. He is pleased to be launching two, not one, but two new internet TV shows that he himself will be hosting. Hope for the World TV and Ambitious City TV, which will be found on their respective YouTube channels. Oh, so YouTube, get ready, free, right? He's already given you some freebies, giveaways. So stay tuned for that. So without further ado, and he can tell you, the other things about his history, and he'll tell you, where you can go and check out his bio and so on and so on. But we are going to get excited, and you have and still are achieving time, accomplishing a great deal. And foremost, you are faith-based. You are faith-based, navigating in various boardrooms, stages, and the filming industry. Can't wait to hear about that as well, and so much more. From Orphan 32 to landing as a soulpreneur, author, powerhouse speaker, media ambassador, operating three businesses, influencer. Please share one by one, and we're going to break it down for our audience, one by one, each one, so that they can take down notes and do what they need to do, because we want them to catch as many gems as they possibly can. Now, starting with the beginning life of Thanh Campbell. Now, pay close attention, everyone. As we mentioned earlier, he's going to be dropping some gems on how he helped others live their lives out of hope and healing. Okay, Thanh, the floor is yours. Number one, awesome. As an Orphan 32.
Fantastic. Well, Linda, thank you for that introduction. I'm honored to be here. And yes, I want, first of all, people to write this word down, or this statement down. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so I need to go to the beginning And just very briefly, I will share my story in a nutshell because I want people to go read my book, read my story, and really be impacted. They can go to YouTube. They can watch the documentary called The Flight by Michaela Colville. But I want you to really understand it's not how you start in life, it's how you finish. See, we all have a birth date and we all have what I call an expiry date. But between those two dates, there's a line. And on your tombstone, you know, that line's going to represent your time here on earth. It's your dash. And so I hope every day that you have breath in your lungs and you have a beat in your heart, that you commit that dash, that time here on earth, to being awesome and amazing. Every day is a gift. Every day is a gift that you get. And so that I hope that you will take that day, those opportunities, and make it awesome and amazing. But not only for yourself, that you will make it awesome and amazing for someone else as well. Can you make that your goal today, tomorrow, and the following weeks, to make the life that you have awesome and amazing for someone else? Yes, there's the word soulpreneur in my title. And I believe Linda is a soulpreneur because we are entrepreneurs with a purpose. We are entrepreneurs that live out of a different purpose than just pure profit. Yes, we're in business for a business, but we want to see the world gain and increase for bigger kingdom purposes. And so my life started very humbly. I was born in the country of Vietnam in 1973. Don't do the math. And I was adopted to a family in Cambridge, Ontario, in Canada. Had a wonderful, upbringing with the Campbell family. And I got to share repeatedly my story of coming as a war orphan over from Vietnam, and how I had a wonderful life here. The amazing people that were responsible, like Victoria Leach and Helen Allen, who bravely came over to war-torn Vietnam and rescued these children that they had no connection to, but had great compassion for. I talk about the pilots who risked their life literally to fly a Hercules C-130 into war-torn Vietnam and take these children out. They weren't supposed to, but they were commissioned while they were in Hong Kong to come in. And they flew us under a hail of bullets as they were taking off from Tan Son Nhut Airport. But they made it safely out of Vietnam into Hong Kong and flew us into safety into Canada. And so my life started understanding that life is not my own, that God had a purpose for me. God rescued me from that situation so that I could be here today to do something great for him. My parents raised me with that understanding of that kingdom purpose, that our life is not our own, but God owns us, body and soul, for his kingdom purpose. And so I have always lived out of that. And I would share my story. But the amazing thing is I was sharing my story one time in Sarnia, Ontario, and I connected with one of the orphans who had flown with me back in 1975. This was 30 years later. I got to reunite with this brother and had no clue that there were even others out there that I could connect with. Well, in a matter of 2 years, we connected with 42 out of the 57. That story went around the world by God's hand, made it back to Vietnam, and a family over there read the story in this newspaper. And would you believe it? They connected with me through the journalist, sent me some documents that matched the documents that had come with me back in 1975. It was just too much of a match that I couldn't do but, a test called a DNA test or a paternity test. Now, I hope you're sitting down while you're watching this and you hear this. The result of that test came back 32 years later. I was 32 years old. And I had the number on me when I came to Canada. I had the number 32 on my lapel. I was numbered when we got to Toronto. And those results came back 99.999%. Meaning that if you could fit 100,000 men in one room, only one of them could have the same genetic makeup as me. I had found my father. But here's the thing, I wasn't looking for him. They had been looking for me for over 30 years. I had been missing for 30 years. They had been looking. They never stopped looking. Now, unfortunately, my mother had passed away, and her last words to her husband were, keep looking for our baby, keep looking for our Ton, never give up, never give up, keep looking for our Ton. And he made that promise back in 1975 when I went, back in 1987 when his wife was dying. He made that promise he would keep looking for me because I had been missing since 1975. And it took to 2006 that he actually did discover that I existed through the newspaper article, and we were able to reunite in 2009. Now,
Wow.
if you don't see God's hand, you don't see a miracle in that life situation, I don't know what would prove that to you. But I've been able to share my story, and now I have published my book. And here's the thing. As I say, I don't want this story just to be about me. I want to inspire, and I share my story. But here, I was the grade 12 student. When I was in high school, I had a phobia of public speaking. I would shake in my boots if I would hide under my desk if the teacher called on me. I was like, don't pick me. I even went to a speech contest, face your fear, and I failed miserably. And I swore, I said, I will never speak in public again after that experience. But I went into theater, I went into drama, I did musicals, I could sing and dance and have fun on stage. And yet when it came time to put a speech together in front of my classmates, I just couldn't overcome the fear that was in me. Until I spoke one day to a friend of mine who was a professional speaker. And he looked at me and says, Ton, you know your story. People love hearing your story. You have an amazing story, and you are an awesome guy. And if you go out, don't look at the audience as if they're waiting for you to fail. That's what everybody else does. Don't look at them like they say, imagine them naked. Don't do that. That's just going to distract you. He says, but people come and they want to know who you are. They want to hear an amazing speech. They want to go to a concert and hear an amazing singer. They want to go to an art gallery and see an amazing piece of art. So while they're sitting there waiting for you, they're hoping you are going to be awesome. They're hoping that you are going to inspire them. They're hoping that you are going to change their life. So when you get on stage, change their life. When you get on stage, be awesome. When you get on stage, be that answer that they've been waiting for. And it changed my mindset. And I've never looked back. I set a goal that day that I would say, okay, I'm going to speak in front of 10,000 people. Well, I had a chance to speak downtown Toronto. When I sat down, I looked around the square. I saw there were 20,000 people in the square that day. God had taken that fear, ripped that fear away from me, and made me stand in courage. And now today I can speak in 100,000 people. Because it's not about me. It's about a kingdom cause. I'm not standing here representing myself. I'm here representing the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And when you have that call on your life, you can go anywhere, you can do anything. And so now my mission is to share the stories of other people. And that is why I started outside of my speaking career. Now I have a publishing company called Hope for the World Productions. Because when we heard my father's story, he told a story about his wife saying, never give up, keep looking for a baby. And he says, I promise I will keep on looking. And he says, Ton, I want you to know three things. You never given up for adoption. We never abandoned you. It was a big mistake you even left this country. Number two, we love you very much. And third of all, this is what he said to me. Through translation, we never gave up hope. We'd find you one day. Isn't that powerful? We never gave up hope. We would find you one day. And so that has been the kind of the fuel, the theme that I speak to in groups, whether kindergarten, all the way to seniors groups called Probus Clubs across Canada, throughout the world. My message is of hope. What I want to do is just crack that window of hope, open that door of hope, because I know that it's a dark world. I know that people are struggling, going through circumstances like we have in the past 3 years. But if we can just open that door, if we can just light that light of hope, well, that darkness can never overcome it. We know that, right? That no darkness can overcome a small little light. What happens though if I take my light and I light yours, and I light yours, and I light yours, and I light yours, eventually that room is going to be full of light, and the darkness will never overcome it. So take your light, share your story, and light the light of other people. Light the light of hope for other people. And that's what I'm doing. Because I want to take not just my story, I want to have a stack of 100, 1,000 stories of people saying, I went through this. It was a dark period, but I kept on going forward. This is what I call it. I call it friction traction. See, what happens is, if I got in my car and I said, I want to go to the grocery store, and just sat there, nothing happens. I said, oh, okay, I know. I got to turn the car on. I'm still not going anywhere. What do I have to do? I have to put that car into drive, and I have to press on the gas. But even still, if that does not create friction, then I wouldn't go anywhere. I'd just be spinning my tires, going nowhere. You need to have that friction. You need to overcome that friction to go one step, one step, one step. And that's what we need to do. And we need to link arms with the person to our right. We need to link arms with the person to our left. And we need to take one step together. And we can overcome that friction, and we can gain traction in our life. We can move forward. We can move upwards, because we've got a bigger purpose than ourselves. We got a bigger purpose than just making money. We got a bigger purpose than just driving that fancy car or, flying in that fancy plane. We've got lives to change, and we're on a mission, and we won't stop until we're done. And that's why Linda is here with this podcast, with this broadcast, is sharing stories of hope, sharing stories of people like me, like herself, other people that she's interviewed, giving that inspiration to say, tomorrow may not look great, but today may not look great, but tomorrow, there is always hope for tomorrow. There is always the light of hope for tomorrow. But we're not always promised tomorrow. So what do you have to do with today? What do we have to do today to have a bright hope for tomorrow? We read in the Bible about casting seeds. That's all we're called to do, is cast the seeds of hope. We're not called to harvest that. We're not called to force those things to grow. No, that is the job and the role of the Creator to make those seeds grow. We are just called to cast the seeds of hope. And that's what Linda is doing so great. And Linda, I want to just say thank you very much, because I know that we are going to bless people. So anyone who is very interested in, not this book, I'm going to be giving away my new book called Orphan 32 No More, because I want people to know that I'm not an orphan, that I belong in the family of God. 1 John 1:12 says, yet to all who receive him, to those who believe in his name, he gives the right to become children of God. When you have a position like that, when you are a kingdom child, then you have the Father of all, fathers. You have the Father as your king. So my next book that I'm going to be releasing this spring is called Orphan No More. And I want you to learn what I've learned through this process of, finding my family and now having a family of my own, and just the people, the mentors that have come into my life and really breathed wisdom into my life. So that's going to be a gift from us. So if you are interested in that, please put in the comments the number 1. And whether that's on Instagram or on Facebook, you can do that. Or if you want to direct message us on Instagram, you can do it through Worth Beingology Group, or with me directly on Instagram. You can just put the number 1 and say book, and we will put your name in a draw. We're going to be giving a number of these away because we believe in you. We want to inspire you with this story. So it does share a little bit about my story, but more importantly, it shares about these mentors in my life and what they've poured into me, and now I want to pour into others. See, if you had a vessel that was all dirty water, and it was just like coffee grinds, let's just say, and you just kept on pouring fresh water and fresh water and fresh water, eventually that vessel would be clean water and you could drink out of it. And that's what we want to do for you. We want to just pour inspiration and the Spirit into your lives so that you are full to the brim, not for yourself, but then you can overflow into the others. So you can impart and you can empower others. And that's what we want to do. We want to start these little fires of inspiration around the world, globally. And that's what this broadcast is going to do. So, start today. Start today by inspiring yourself and say these words to yourself. Point to yourself and say the words, I am awesome and amazing. Will you do that with? I'm just going to leave that moment. I am awesome and amazing. I can hear you from here. Thank you for doing that. I have audiences, young and old, do that. And the energy when you say that just goes up here. When you say that every morning, I am awesome and amazing, because it's true. It's not out of narcissism that you're saying this. In the Bible, it says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. How do you translate that? You are awesome. You are amazing. So that dash that you have, we want you to be awesome and amazing. Again, not for yourself, but for others. We want you to be awesome and amazing and make it awesome and amazing for everyone else. So hopefully that, really hits home with you. Linda, sorry, I just kind of rambled on there. I hope if there are any questions, I know we have a little bit of time left.
You do not have to apologize. I forgot to bring my tissue box. Thank God, my makeup is okay. If it's not, that's all right. That's all right. We do have some comments on Facebook.
Wonderful. Okay.
And we would like to bring in the comments if we can.
Please.
And see what the people have to say. I know, oh my goodness, they have a lot to say. And it may not be in the right order, but, Tom, we'll take it as we get it. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Jacqueline,
I am
yes.
awesome, Jacqueline. Wonderful.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes,
yes.
Truth.
And we have
Jacob. I am awesome and amazing. Fantastic. Yes, you are, brother. Fellow author, Rita, one book. Wonderful. We will put your name in the draw. Wonderful. Living from the overflow. Love that. That's exactly right. When we share, there's an overflow. So we don't live out of a scarcity mentality. We live out of an abundance mentality. It says in Matthew, for the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I, meaning Jesus, have come that you may have life and that you may have it more abundantly, that you may have more full.
Yes. And Pastor Rita says, amen, amen.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yes, sir. We are children of God. We are. When I was younger, I was going through a hard time when I was about 13 years old, and I cried out to God, and I said, God, I don't want to be here anymore. That's how frustrated I was. I didn't want to commit suicide. I didn't know anything of that. I knew I just didn't want to be there. And I fell asleep, and I woke up then later that, like early morning, probably about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I looked down and I saw that I was still in the same clothes that I had fallen asleep. And I was angry with God, and I said, God, you didn't take me. You broke your promise. You didn't listen to me. You didn't do what I asked. And then I just kind of was sobbing. And then I just heard a voice break through my frustration, through my tears. And I heard, Ton, you're my son. I love you. And I'm not finished with you yet.
Amen.
And this peace just came over me. What was interesting, I had a car accident in 2001. September 11th happened. We all know what happened September 11th, 2001. Well, October 11th, I was in a ditch upside down, and they had to put me into a stretcher into the hospital. And I was taken to a hospital, and I was looking at these fluorescent lights, and I asked that same question because everybody, from the ditch basically to the gurney in the hospital said I shouldn't be there, that I should be 10 feet from my car with a white sheet over my head. So I asked God, and I was laying on, I couldn't go anywhere, and I just said, why am I still here? Why am I still here? And that same voice broke through and said these words, Ton, you are my son. I love you, and I'm not finished with you yet. But added to that was, you are going to tell your story, and you are going to inspire the nations. And so out of obedience, I am out now sharing my story. It's out of obedience because he has called me to do so. Before I used to just share my story because people were interested where I come from. Now I know that there is value, that people lives can be changed. And who am I to hold on to that? Who am I to keep that back? And that's what I'm going to encourage you. Who are you to keep your story from others? Share it, whether it's in a book, whether it's on a podcast, whether it's on a radio show, whether it's in TV, whether it's in a movie. Share your story, because you never know one life that could be changed, one life that could be saved. And so please, out of obedience, share your story, because it's going to help someone.
And with that said, would you like to read the comment from Coach Jacqueline?
Yeah, thank you for answering the call to bring hope to so many, advancing the kingdom God hashtag. That's awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. When you live out of your kingdom purpose, then you have, I say, the right to call yourself a soulpreneur. So if you have a profile on Instagram, if you have a profile on Facebook, if you have a profile on Clubhouse, add that name, soulpreneur. Because what is that going to do? It's going to start a conversation. And people are going to say, what's soulpreneur mean? Well, it means that you are living out of a higher purpose because you serve a heavenly Father. And that gets you a door to talk about your faith. And so I encourage you, add that title, moniker, soulpreneur, with a capital S, Soulpreneur. So because you are in business, yes, you are in business, but you're not business for yourself. You're in business for the King.
Now we have a comment from, Dr. D. She's in one of our Clubhouse.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Dr. D, thank you. Hello from Fort Mitchell, Alabama. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you.
And with
Fantastic.
that said, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go far, because we will be right back, and our commercial breaks aren't that long. So, and we would like to give thanks to our sponsor, who is Coach Jacqueline Turnbull, founder and CEO of Vision Concepts, LLC. And she's also the designer of all the promos that you see here on the gifting table. So if you're interested in having a promo made, don't forget, she's available. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Okay, we said it would be quick. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome,
Sorry,
Todd.
Instagram, you don't get to see that. So you got to jump over to Facebook. You got to watch the replay. Jacqueline did amazing. That is such an amazing promo. I'm so inspired by that. And it's my own promo.
Yeah. Well, maybe we did post it, I think, but you and I will make sure that, it's
Absolutely.
on Instagram, so that they can, have the honors of seeing you in action as well. Now we're going to part 2. And you probably, part 2, yes, you've already mentioned some of these things, but, if I repeat, sometimes we have to hear things, a couple times. But the question is from the audience, your book, Orphan 32. Now, who inspired you? And you might have said this. It's an inspiration to everyone, and everyone that reads it. Now, we did mention that you will be given away, or not given away. There will be a drawing. Let's correct that. A drawing. You put in the number 1 to have a chance to win the book, whether on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can message either one of us, and we will make sure that we get back to you regarding the drawing. However, you do have exclusive copies. Tell us a little bit about your exclusive copies for those who would like to purchase a hardback copy
Sure.
of your book?
So the ones that are for purchase are my memoir called Orphan 32. So this is the one that came out in 2013. It took me 2 years. I started writing in 2010, 2012. Now, how it came about is that when my perspective and my mindset changed about public speaking, I became a speaker, and that's just how I identified myself. And I again in high school through university was a terrible writer. It was mostly read X's and from my professors. So when people ask me, you need to write your story because we can't, there's so many details, we can't share it all, but we'd love to have a book to be able to share with people. And I'm like, I'm not a writer, I'm a lover. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a writer, I'm a speaker. And so but then I thought, okay, when enough people had asked me, over 100 people asked me that I needed to write a book, I said, okay, I will do it. So I thought, how hard can it be? And I just started writing what I would say on stage. But writing to speak is very different writing to read. But so I still got my story out there. I had worked with some editors, and then I self-published this book. And so really that was the inspiration, is because so many people asked me, can you please write your story out so that we can tell and share this story with other people? And I did. And, I'm blessed to say that I've sold over 7,000 copies, making it a bestseller. And, that's why, I moved into putting into a children's book, because I was speaking to so many schools that I wanted the story to become accessible for the K to grade 3 reading level. So I have a children's book. So if people message me directly, either on Facebook or Instagram, I will take away the shipping. I will, whether, depending on where you live. If it's in Canada, I can take away the shipping. If it's in United States, I will do $20 flat for the book. I won't charge any taxes, and then we'll put the shipping on top of that for the States, because it's a little bit different. But just message me, Orphan 32 or Lost and Found. Now, Lost and Found is the children's book. Orphan 32 is my memoir. So if you want the children's book, Lost and Found, think about Lost and Found Mittens maybe, or something like that. Children always losing their mittens. Orphan 32 is my memoir that is more geared for older readers. So yes.
You know what I love, Tom, about exclusive copies? You get to receive a signed copy from the author.
Absolutely. I will sign it directly. You say I will too, and I'll put a message inside for you. Exactly.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you very much for that. And can you, in a few minutes, just a few minutes, because we want to get on to what's coming as far as your summit. But can you kind of tell us about the media ambassador?
Sure. Because my story went global, when we were going through and we had met Trent and we had met Victoria Leach, it was very interesting. The Toronto Star journalist was there and held up this picture, and it actually became the cover story for the Toronto Star on April 18th, 2005. Which was interesting because I think it was 32 years to the day, or 30 years to the day, that the Campbells came and picked me up in Toronto. But we had contacted the media and got our stories in, and so now that my story has kind of made it around the globe, now I want to help others get their stories into the media and get a wider audience. So that's what I'm doing with my partner now, Paul from Salt and Pepper Media. We have 8 offices around North America, and we are helping get people into print media, on blogs, on podcasts, and in the morning shows. Like I was on Canada AM, I think about 4 or 5 times. I was on 100 Huntley Street, became one of their top 300 stories on 100 Huntley Street. So I share how to work with the media, how to help the media share your story, basically. So I consider myself an ambassador because I'm the go-between to getting your story out there in the media. So, yeah.
I'm raising my hand.
Yes,
I am
absolutely.
raising my hand, and all the authors. Okay, well, you heard it. You heard
I
it.
see the hearts on
Yes.
Instagram. So yes,
Yes,
we
yes.
would be glad to work with you. Please
We
connect
see
with
the
me.
hearts. We see the hearts. And again, let's just post his contact information. We'll give you a few minutes. But Tom, if you would like to just read the for Instagram so that they can hear.
Absolutely. So my email is Ton, my first name, THANH, James, JAMES, 32 at gmail.com. And yeah, normally I start with how to pronounce my name. So a lot of people go, say, how do you say THANH? So I help people with my last name, Campbell. So Wonton Campbell Soup. But yeah, so my email is tonjames32 at gmail.com. There's a really funny story. We don't have time today of how that name James got into my email, because it's quite funny. It's a kind of lost in translation story. So yeah,
And we will have Tom back. You know, he's a brother to us now. So he's connected to the group and
body of
our
Christ.
community.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of him and do a lot. We're going to collaborate, which is, you know, that's why we build communities such as this, you know,
Absolutely.
when we meet on various platforms. And if you're not familiar with either one of us, please inbox us, get to know us, join our community. We'll join your community, collaborate, network together. And that's what it's all about. As Tom
Amen.
said, one pulls up the other. Okay, so we're like going up the ladder together because that's what we do, right?
Yeah, we don't want a
Together.
handout, a hand
No,
up. Yeah,
exactly.
hand
A
up.
hand up. Together we stand, and divided we fall. So we're going to stand together. We are going to stand together. Well, thank you very much. And we still have more for you. And we definitely want to remind you about the drawing again. And if you, Tom, can repeat the
Sure.
instructions.
So what we're asking people to do, if you're interested in getting a copy of my new book that's going to be released called Orphan No More, coming out this spring, is just in the comments mention the number 1 so that we know. Or if you're going to DM us on Instagram or Facebook, you can just say 1 book contest, just so that we know what it's for. And we will put your name in the draw. Obviously, we will contact you for your email so that we can send the copy, the Kindle copy to you. But yes, we want to get that book into your hands because, you know, it really is passing all of the wisdom that has kind of been poured into my life. Like, I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way. And so I don't want you to have to go through what I've gone through to get to where I am. I want you to be able to take a shortcut and take the higher ground with some of these things. But, you know, God has blessed me with so many great mentors in my life, and they just poured wisdom and patience into my life. And I just wanted to put that into book form and share it with the community, and just again like the fire of inspiration.
Amen. And we do have a few more comments. Do you mind?
Absolutely, let's see
Okay,
them.
let's see. Okay, we're going to go down because you never know on this, you know, how far and where everybody is. Um,
Yeah, even in the comments, just say where you're coming from so we know all the different places around the world that people are coming in. Awesome,
yes.
Darlene, Dr. D. Yeah, absolutely. You're in the contest. Fantastic.
Yes, she's in the drawing. She's been entered.
All right, Jacqueline too. Fantastic.
Yes. And
Hashtag stand together. Nice, Jacqueline. Absolutely. And Jacqueline, thank you so much for your work on that promo. Truly, truly amazing. And the music, doesn't the music, Jacqueline's going to be laughing right now. I can know she can hear it. The music just made such a difference. We had a first rendition that was very yoga, very crystals and sounding. And then I said, no, I want a little bit more driving, more inspirational. She found the perfect piece, and we're both like, okay, it can't be the Rocky theme, but very close. And then, it was perfect. It was perfect.
exactly, good. Well, she aims to strive. She's a You
Well,
know, not just a
anybody,
designer.
yeah,
She's
if you
an
need something,
accountable coach.
yeah.
Go ahead.
If you
You
need anything done, like a promo piece, yes, please hit up Jacqueline because phenomenal work. Very fast too. Yes.
Yes. Now, for the last, as we close out, you mentioned that there is something powerful coming up, upcoming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll let you tell it. I'll let you tell it.
Well, I'm so excited about this because, as you said, as we've gone through COVID and been kind of stuck, and we got onto platforms like Clubhouse and Zoom calls, and I started my Urban Ambition podcast, and then I had Ambitious City podcast that turned it into Urban Ambition. We've actually revamped it now, and it's called Resilient, because what I've been hearing stories of is just true grit and grind and survival, and then not just survival, but thriving. So people who aren't just surviving, but thriving through this pandemic. And I didn't get one. I didn't get five. I didn't get 10. I didn't get 20. I didn't get 50. I didn't get 80. I got 105 stories already in the can, ready to share with you. So what we are doing, we are starting with an e-magazine called Resilient, the Resilient magazine, because we are going to be telling stories of resilient people who have not only survived, but thrived through this pandemic, through their life. And so I'm so excited to share these stories. But then what we are doing is we're taking these authors of these stories, and we are going to be building a summit in November, and we are going to have these speakers share their stories on stage. And so we are going to hear direct from, as you say, the horse's mouth. We're going to hear their stories personally from them. And it might not take one summit, might not take two summits. It actually might be 3 or 4 summits that we put together just to get all of these stories. And I have more and more as I'm talking about the summit. Can I share my story? Can I my story? I wouldn't be surprised if we had 200 stories by the next month to share. So called the Resilient Summit and Tour. And the reason we're calling it this is because the summit is going to be the pinnacle, of the year. We're going to put this at the end of the year in November. But then what we want to do is we want to take it on the road. We want to be able to, now that things are opening up, we want to do live experiences, and we want to meet our friends in person live. So we will be coming to a city near you, all across Canada, all throughout the United States, and we are going to have a number of speakers, probably 10 to 20 speakers live on stage, and then we're going to meet each other. Afterwards, we're going to have a live networking, connecting with people, and that will be the tour aspect. Now, connected to that, we're going to be touring around the world through destination retreats. And so we are going to have some of these coaches that are speaking also sharing their wisdom in remote places like Fiji, in Costa Rica, in Mexico, in Hawaii, in Spain. All of these destinations, not just having a retreat or not just having kind of a holiday for yourself, but actually being fed, being your soul being fed by these coaches. So we're so excited about touring around the world with some of these speakers who will be pouring into your life. So we're excited. We're going to be starting with the magazine, the Resilient magazine, where you're just going to be pouring through issue after issue of story after story of amazing people's lives and how they overcame, and with God's help overcame the great obstacles in life to become successful, and then again, not for themselves, but doing what they're doing to make the world a better place. And then taking that on the road, taking it live, hearing that on stage, live on stage, because now we're getting back to live performances, and then again, taking this globally around the world for destination retreats. And so excited getting started with that, with our first issue. And we have an amazing stories to share from the Resilient desk. So please stay tuned for that. You can contact me if you're interested. Send me your email so that we can get you the first issue for free. Anyone who just tells us that they heard it on the Worth Beingology group or from this podcast, you'll get your first issue free from us. So yeah, very excited about that, because we need to hear good news. You know, it's high time that the good news starts sharing and that we start putting good news into the media. And then we want that to be what people want to hear, not the doom and gloom that we've been hearing for the past 3 years.
Amen. Amen. I received that. I received that. I'm putting my name in, and we will be doing talking about collaboration on that summit because I'm interested.
Absolutely.
I am
Absolutely.
interested. You know, there are people to see, places to go for us all. Okay, well, this has been a pleasure. Todd, thank you very much for joining the Worth Beingologists here at the gifting table. And we truly, truly appreciate your input. You inspired many, many. If I was inspired, I know our audience were. And they
Thank you,
kept
Linda.
us busy on Facebook, right? As well as Clubhouse. They're still waving at us. So
That's awesome.
yes, we are looking forward to meeting you all and continuing this conversation. If you have any questions about this episode, feel free to reach out to Todd or myself, the Worth Beingologist, and let's connect. See what we can do together. Together. Well, from the gifting table, we would like to say thank you very much for joining us on Instagram as well as Facebook. It's always a pleasure. And remember, God loves you. And so does Todd and I. Thank you very much. And we're looking forward to keeping that connection going. And we're going to say goodbye for now. But Todd is going to hold on and we're going to chat afterwards. You know, we have the back room, right? So we're going to talk and we're going to say goodbye. Yes. God bless you all.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.